Welcome to the video, everyone. This has been much awaited, I think, by the audience because everyone's been wanting to know how we build this team around this wealth structure and this company business structure that we're going to have in the future. And somebody at some point had to take the initiative and go through the process as much as they can. And I've taken that upon myself to be that guy so I can kind of show by example who I'm adding to my team and the systems I'm going through to get there and the structure that I'm incorporating into my business and businesses as we move into this era where we might have a significant amount of wealth. And I am happy to announce that I have actually designated myself an accountant. More on them at the end of the video. So I wanted to structure this video around 5 things that you need to look for in an accountant to start building that healthy, professional, and useful and efficient team that you will need when that wealth comes in. And I would actually make an argument to say that an accountant, even before the wealth comes in, is still quite a good idea because there's a lot of spending that goes on, as I found out kind of the hard way here. There's a lot of trading and activity that you do within crypto and blockchain that you don't realize is accumulating when you're doing it. It's just good to have kind of an overview and oversight of all the things that you've done and where you stand legally with all the tax. And look, I know it's a real pain to start thinking about your tax and what money you might owe to the government, and you don't really like the government in the first place. I know it's tough, okay? So bear with me as we get into these 5 tips to help you look for an accountant that maybe you want or maybe you don't want, but eventually you will need. Here we go. The first thing we need to be looking for are the credentials. It's important to make sure that these people are actually accredited and have the appropriate training and experience that you need to not just be able to handle the day-to-day financial transactions and the tax that goes along with that. They need the credentials to be able to handle this multi-million pound or dollar empire that you're starting to grow. And if they're not qualified to the highest degree, they're going to be out of their depth when that wealth comes in. So there's 2 things you're looking for, I guess, whether you're in the US or the UK. You're looking for a CPA, so Certified Public Accountant. The other one is a CA, a Chartered Accountant. These are people who've gone through the necessary education and exams and everything to become an accountant. Number 2 is that we need to check their references. We need to make sure that these people have worked with the right people who are going to be on the same caliber as us when this wealth comes in. They need to have experience working with these types of people and the needs of these types of people, because the average person who just comes in for a normal self-assessment, they don't understand the ins and outs and the complexities and the necessity of a business structure where you have a trust and it goes down into subsidiaries and there's holding companies and all of that kind of stuff. They don't understand that. But if you've got someone who's been through that process, understands that system, then that's going to come a lot easier to them. It's going to be a lot less of a headache when the time comes. The next one is to make sure that they have the right specialization. And because we're in this area, we're in high net worth cryptocurrency asset investing, because that's what we're ultimately going to be, we need to make sure that this person understands the ins and outs of tax as it relates to cryptocurrency and NFTs if you've dabbled there as well. And I'm telling you now from experience and having looked around and searched and contacted countless accountants, you need this person to have a specialism in cryptocurrency. They know how to use all of these cryptocurrency trackers for tax purposes. They understand how to follow transactions around the blockchain. These are actually all really important things that you need your accountant to completely understand. One of the things that's quite funny to me is that every time I've talked to an accountant who's a crypto specialist, they call themselves specialists because they know more than most people. And what that basically means is that if you ask them what Bitcoin is, they know what it is. And if you ask them what blockchain is, they also know what that is. But as we know, that's not the full story, and that's not going to get us to where we need to go. So it's kind of funny to talk with accountants about cryptocurrency and how they still kind of talk about cryptocurrency like the banks do. You know, this is a risky investment and be careful what you invest into, which is all good advice, but it just shows the level of understanding between us who are deep in the research and completely understand this system versus someone who actually considers himself a professional and has a specialism in an area, how much more we know about cryptocurrency and how much more we know past Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, and how much we understand, just going even further than that, how much we understand where the new financial system is going. So do expect this kind of knowledge barrier between you and the accountant, you being the one who actually knows more. But that's not that important. What is important is them understanding how crypto transactions and payments and everything and airdrops are all incorporated into a tax system. That's what's important. And before we get to number 4, I want to actually say I have prepared an email template for everyone, absolutely free, in the description of this video. It's basically an email that will ask all the appropriate questions you need to ask in that first email stage, so that you can get the answers you need out of them before the conversation begins. From that email template, if they are not able to work in cryptocurrency and tax and they don't understand that system, they will tell you that as a result of that email. They'll also give you their credentials, their experience, and any references that you might need moving forward. But once you've sent the email, the important stuff begins right there. Essentially, at this point, what you need to be doing is actually looking at how they communicate with you. Is this an easy experience? Is this good back and forth that we're having? Is it productive? Is it efficient? Are we wasting time asking questions that are irrelevant? I think it's also a good sign when people give you a little bit of their service already, like giving you some advice, answering some questions that you have about business structure or whatever, and perhaps whether your needs actually lean you towards benefiting from offshore holdings. You know, these little things, if they give you answers with that without charging you, that's usually a good sign that they're looking for your work and they want your help. These are all things that my accountant has provided as well, which I'm super thankful for, and he did a lot for me before I even started paying. It was a lot of effort that he put into my situation before I actually paid him any money, which was really great. And then finally, it's down to the crunch time. We need to know how much money this person is going to be charging you for the services that you need. One little tip that I want to give you here is to make sure you understand exactly what you need. Don't get told what you need, because there's been a lot of conversations that I had with other accountants where they started saying, you know, you need this system, you need this system, this system. And I'm thinking, yes, okay, I've got a business now on YouTube. Like, that's part of this whole accounting thing as well. But I don't need that. I don't need that. So you're charging me such a high price and it includes things I don't need, then we need to have a little back and forth here to negotiate that down, because it's not appropriate for what I need. So make sure you understand what you need and make sure you get pricing specific for what you need. So I guess it's time to reveal who I have added to my team as my accountant. I've been with him for just over a month. He's given me a lot more currently than I've paid him for, but he also isn't cheap. The thing you also have to understand is that he is a specialist in cryptocurrency. These are extremely rare people to find. And so I know I'm really getting someone who understands blockchain and the tax implications of that new system. His name is Chris, and he's from a company called Crypto Concepts Accounting. And I know many of you in the UK were wanting to know exactly when I got my accountant and if I could share his details with you guys, and that's exactly what I'm doing. His email is in the description of this video. Feel free to use the email template that I've given you for any accountant that you try to contact. You can also use that for Chris. But if you are in the UK and you're looking for an accountant, you want to get his fees and all of that kind of stuff, make sure you mention that I sent you, because maybe then I can get some extra special treatment or something, I don't know. And I know it's going to be a massive headache for him now, trying to figure out everyone's transactions for all their wallets and everything. It's actually a massive headache, and he takes all of that on. But I know he'll greatly appreciate all of you making contact with him. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for this one. Thank you for sticking around. And as I add people to this team of wealth managers and legal advisors and all of that kind of stuff, as I add them, I will let everyone know on this channel as and when that happens. And when possible, I'll share exactly who they are. At some point in the future, I'll compile all of these people into one document, have that available in the members area. If you want access to research pieces or ask me questions any time of the day, please consider joining as a member on YouTube or on Discord or on Patreon. Links to all of that are in the description. Stay emotionless out there, and I'll see you in the next one.